This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
It was not outside the realm of impossibility, but the likelihood that Tom would receive his desired gift on his 45th birthday was remote. It was expensive for one, and considered a gift that could only be experienced by him and him alone. Nevertheless, he held out hope that he would come home from work on the afternoon of the 17th, and there it would be, in a black box sitting lonesome in the backyard, awaiting his arrival. The door opened before he had a chance to reach into his pocket for his keys, and there Simone sang out with a wide grin, always welcoming. "Surprise," she said as they embraced in the doorway. "You remembered," he joked. She let him go, led him into the kitchen, and showcased the meal she had prepared. "No way," he said. It had been a long day, but he reserved energy for his appreciation. When she had time to cook, she always excelled, and he was excited for what she had prepared. "That's not all," she said as she closed the oven. She grabbed him by the hand and led him over to the back door, switching on the porch lights. There, illuminated in the center of the deck, was the black box, a meter by a meter by a meter. It shimmered in the light. Not even the box that housed the unit was spared the luxury. "Darling," Tom said as he struggled to maintain a sensible composure. He was shocked. His jaw refused to close. "Darling, I can't." She placed her hands on his cheeks and directed his head to face her. "You deserve it," she said as she kissed him. "But what about us? What about Vegas?" he asked. "We've got our entire lives," she said, "but you will only go through 1 year like the one you've had. I know how much this means for you." This time he kissed her. He walked around the outskirts of the box, inspecting the edges and the entry point. He looked for the access buttons that were showcased on every YouTube video he had ever watched on the unit, finding them on the bottom left, polished amidst the canvas. Simone emerged with the dinner she had prepared for them both. Tom switched the unit and watched as the walls of the transport box swung out, exposing the craft in its dormant state. "Stand back," he warned Simone, as the device ignited into a series of lights and buzzes and grew in size and shape to allow someone of a maximum height of 8 feet, however unlikely that would have been, to enter the capsule. "Wow," she said. "Is it everything you hoped for?" she said with a laugh. "I haven't had the ride yet," he laughed back. They sat beneath the unit with a plate of food each, an impromptu picnic beneath the flashing LED lights. "What about Vegas?" he asked her again. "We could have gone 3 times for the cost of one of these." "Look, I'll admit," she said, "I was hoping we would go, but I know how much this meant to you and your mom and dad, and now that they're gone, I don't know. I felt sorry for you," she said. He held her hand. "But they're gone. You're here," he said. "Do you want me to take it back and ask for a refund?" she mock-threatened. He kissed her again. "Stop feeling guilty," she said, returning to her plate. "When are you going to take the flight?" "Tonight," he said, his eyes fixed on the machine once more. "Tonight?" "Yeah, as soon as we're done." There was no point in any delay. The Explorer Gateway could be used at any time, in any weather, at any location. He didn't want to prolong the desire any further than he had the last 11 months since he was orphaned. Space existed as an ambiguous, imaginative afterthought that permeated throughout his mind daily. To maintain this image a minute further when the answers lay in his back garden, with the switch of a button, was a temptation that was stronger than any magnet. It had to be tonight. "There's an instructional video that the company recommends you watch before you embark," Simone said through a mouthful of chicken. Tom pulled his phone from his pocket and held up the instructional which he had preloaded from his train ride home from work. He played it for her, and they watched William Shatner of Star Trek fame deliver an introduction and tutorial. "Hello and welcome to the Explorer Gateway User Manual. Congratulations. You are about to embark on a journey that, thanks to the advancements in modern science and engineering, many men and women have embarked on before," Shatner explained through the speakers of the phone. "Hello and welcome, even Mom and Dad," said Tom. Simone leaned in and placed an arm around his shoulder. The Explorer Gateway was developed in conjunction with Mobile Connect, a telecommunications and engineering firm based out of Beijing. "Skip," said Tom as he thumbed the phone to skip the video forward to the tutorial. "As you step into the Explorer Gateway, remember to put on the airlocked suit. You may need some assistance." Tom looked at Simone, who grinned. Then simply close the latch and press the green release button when you are ready for takeoff. The journey will consist of 15 minutes in total, 10 minutes each way, 5 to get you into orbit, 5 minutes in orbit where you will be surrounded by the vast wonders of the black beauty of space, and 5 minutes to return to your destination of origin. The onboard computer navigation will do all the necessary work to get you off the surface of the Earth and back down on terra firma. Now enjoy your flight, and remember, the final frontier is just your beginning. The video faded to the Gateway Explorer logo. Tom couldn't eat anymore. Simone assisted him with his jumpsuit and put the oval-sized helmet over the top of his head, latching down the clips to make it airtight. A hiss emanated from inside the suit, indicating that airflow had been activated. "What about a final kiss?" she asked. Tom, hearing her through the plated glass dome, her voice a warped distance that competed with his breathing. "Too late," he said. "The suit is airtight." She kissed the glass and he was able to see the outline of her lips. He couldn't reach the glass due to the oval shape but mouthed a return to her. He entered the capsule and pulled the latch. "See you in 15, he said as the latch door sealed shut. The green ignition light, the only button capable of being activated inside the spacecraft, illuminated, ready for takeoff. Taking a breath but wasting no more time, Tom pressed the button as his heartbeat rapidly increased. The hydropropulsion streams jetted out underneath the craft and lifted him with minimal fuss. He was soaring above his house in seconds. He could see the streets and the parks that made up his neighborhood emerge as he climbed over them. They shrank smaller with every passing second. He rose higher and higher and could see cities and high-density communities on the horizon, lighting up their lives to display their health and well-being to him, and reminding him of the Earth as he knew it, and the one that he would return to in a matter of minutes, but a changed man. He pierced through the darkened clouds and skirted along the edges of the last remaining pockets of blue sky. He looked behind him, having a 360-degree view, and saw the sun setting in the east. It radiated brighter than any sunset he had ever seen from the surface. He realized then that he hadn't taken a breath since taking off. The bubbles of sky pittered away and the black emerged. It wasn't a black he had ever seen before. It was an impenetrable black, a solid black, a complete and utter black. It was not a darkness. He had a glimpse of his mother and father. He imagined them inside the International Space Station, the first couple to be on a mission together, the first over 60s to sustain a prolonged period in orbit. They loved spaceflight and were eager to return to the stars once Tom had reached an age where they could leave without him. 2 years they had been up there. He thought of their embrace on the final day, when the space junk collided with them and made the station obsolete along with their lives. Now he joined them. He knew what it was like. He knew what they felt. The euphoria of seeing what can only be imagined, what can only be animated on a computer screen in a Hollywood studio. It was real and it was desolate, frightening, and beautiful. He checked his watch. 25 minutes had passed and his ascension into the heavens had not stopped. He felt a panic rise. A red light pinged the LED screen in the top right corner above the viewing window. He pressed it, being the only other button aside from the green ignition that allowed him to switch it on. The screen flickered on his command and a man in a dark suit sitting in an office appeared. "Greetings, Mr. Spencer. First of all, on behalf of everyone here at NASA, we want to thank you for volunteering to visit the Kuiper Belt. Inside this modified Gateway Explorer and the accompanying spacesuit, your body will be preserved for the 82-year journey beyond Neptune, beyond Pluto to visit the vast openness of the edge of the belt. There you will be reawakened to get a human glimpse of the horizon that the belt should offer you. I wish I could tell you what to expect, but I'm afraid only you will be privy to such a sight. I wish I could hear from you exactly what it is you will see when you return, but unfortunately an 82-year journey requires an 82-year return. In 164 years, your experiences and knowledge of the galaxy beyond our solar system will make you a legend. I want to thank you for your service and I wish you Godspeed. Please enjoy the view past the moon. Hypersleep should be engaged momentarily once you have passed the dark side. Goodbye." Tom began screaming. He shook the screen and watched as the signal flickered. It took him a moment to realize that it was a pre-recorded message. There was a major mistake taking place, and he was locked into the capsule watching it helplessly unfold. Tom Monroe was not this Mr. Spencer. Tom Monroe was the son of astronauts who wanted to recreate his parents' experiences. He wanted to venture into space, that is all. His parents' dream was to push the human body beyond its limits and test the fragility of our species for long space flights. Now he would carry that ambition on himself in an unfortunate twist of accidental serendipity. He saw the moon approach from above, and the craft adjust itself to orbit. He thought of Simone. The mark of her lips was still visible on the surface of the glass of his helmet. She would exist now only as a memory of a memory. When the Gateway Explorer returned to his garden in 160 years, she would be long gone. A shadow.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.